I've done a lot of protesting about Gaza. I also felt very badly about the victims of AIDS in the Vietnam War. However, I'm alone in what I'm up against. I'm embarrassed for my ex-girlfriend Kathy, who went along with so much, that she knew Peter Gabriel was planning. She saw the marquee in Montana, Crimes and Misdemeanors, when Peter Gabriel wrote to me and said, "Hope I spelled that correctly." It was abuse of a very draconian nature. He was covering for evidence that AIDS was a Netanyahu attack. Because Ringo Starr organized the war game that they put on through the Gurdjieff cult and Caligula Christians in Pennsylvania. To call it Helter Skelter, do you or don't you want me to make you two virgins pussy ball war game, in which the queer bait, as they called me, could have saved John Lennon, so they alleged. As a result of this, could have saved John Lennon was jealous and hunting a virgin routine that went on, that was enculturated, a drama club production. The people who had AIDS in the AIDS community, Lifelong AIDS Project, started stabbing people, poisoning me, and siding with Netanyahu. And that's where Owen Jones obviously stands. My point of view was I've done a lot of hard work trying to warn my peers. I haven't withheld my time and energy. However, I was used for slavery and torture. These murderers abused my civil rights, trafficked me. I deserve to be paid for my work and injuries. I'm an American citizen. Well, the way they organized it was to say any money that's there should be promised to the people of Gaza. Now, they're the ones who bore the blowback from Seattle queers' allegiance with Netanyahu in the AIDS attack. Let's look at this again. The queer bait was an honorary the rapist because he left the girl a virgin and was jealous after dating her for a year when she cuckolded him and cried about it when he could have saved John Lennon. Means to Seattle queer, they should side with the people who started AIDS and maybe shed an emphatic tear for Gaza when the people who they liberated and left at large kicked their faces in too. And then they called queerbait the devil. I'll tell you what this amounts to. You can choose a side. You're welcome to choose a side between sexual liberation and the belief that sins of the flesh are evil. Dating is evil. Buddy Holly was evil. You can choose that side, as Greg Carl and his brother Lou Carl did, and the Lou Carellis. They believe that sex is for children and for no other purpose, and anybody who thinks that it's not is going to pay a high price to Netanyahu, the most moral general that the world has ever seen. And you want to choose their side because of a make-believe story about one of their victims being to blame for something that didn't happen. Lennon pulled a Houdini so Yoko Ono could laugh when she took Tiger Mountain by strategy, as they put it. That's the reality. And if you try to replay this, you're up against your own obfuscation. The truth is ingrained in what happened. They said their alibi was Jimmy Crary is just after the pussy. Nobody came and said he's entitled to date Kathy. There's nothing wrong with him dating Kathy. They were in love. They said he's just after the pussy. And I found the whole arrangement very suspicious. The Tanya Hughes script says X amples. And Carl's script says the persona is subjected to successive degradations of the X motive. So the little rat is on an X motive to a Venus flytrap, as Wadmaker demonstrated, the neurosurgeon who implanted a neuroobedient implant. So it was mandatory. The queer bait was drafted to self-immolation. He must be the Aaron Bushnell of the AIDS attack, or he's not the Messiah. And they had Foucault do it. They had Sean Strubb do it. And Carl came hooting, it's your turn next. It's the Sin War from Penis J. Sinfield. And you think, oh, that can't be true because Mick Jagger came a wiggling for the rave. Well, Mick Jagger's cult put together the whole thing with the Gurdjieff Society. He's in the royal family who's exempt from this talk. He can sleep with anything and anybody he wants to. His friends used to ravage children in Epstein Island. They put me through a horrifying Manson ordeal. Oh, you could say, oh, the queer bait should learn abstinence. It should learn that sensory is a deception. It should look after its soul. That's fine. It's not the point. These are murderers who set up a pornographic genocide system while stealing our money for the tax and spend Cold War militarism of the Red Scare science fiction psychotics who put together corporate neoliberalism with George Bush. And don't go away, because George Monbiot, the famous critic of neoliberalism, is in their pocket, an ally of Penis J. Sinfield. That's why I call them the sandbaggers. They're from the Hollywood Talking Box. They put up this monstrous identity system. We oppose what's going on in Gaza. We oppose what's going on in Gaza. But telling on Penis Gabriel and Joni Mitchell and David Joplin is anti-Semitic. And they won't tell a word of truth about any of it. Not the tulip poison that led to the announced COVID-19. Not Cohen's video of me with a 19-year-old. Not Two Virgins Pussy Ball. It's all a Toon prank. Donald Toon is pulling a prank. And he has the sandbaggers representing each point of view. What's your point of view? What's your point of view? He owns all the different points of view, and they're going to get on with the genocide. And the people who were victimized the first time will show their courage by protesting the people who they sicked their own Rottweiler on after it bit them. Don't bite me anymore. I love you. Go bite them. Oh, I'm so sorry my dog bit you. That's how stupid Monbiot is. He can't. The distance from A to B is stable. It stays put. And he goes flying around, zigzagging everywhere, saying, I must connect the dots. I must connect the dots. Only I can connect the dots. And he never even perceives how simple it is to connect the dots. Lenin was in on it. The people who they are allied to are not just simply because people are weird, as McCartney puts it. They're friends. Whereas the person who was in the dark isn't their friend. The person who hitchhiked from Pittsburgh to St. Louis just to hear one of them play isn't their friend. The people who they say killed John Lennon are their friends because they don't cry when they're cuckolded by a virgin, which makes them honorary rapists in the Taliban of Brian Eno. This really all happened. It's like 40 years of faculty notes and faculty records and doctors of psychiatry and psychologists, one after another, confirmed all this. This is what really happened. It's what really happened. And Monbiot can't connect the dots. He says somehow there's some other explanation. There's some queerbait could have saved John Lennon, therefore I must ally myself with the people who I believe killed him. Queerbait could have saved John Lennon, therefore I must ally myself with the people who I claim killed him. Queerbait could have saved John Lennon, therefore I must ally myself with the people who I say killed him. And he thinks he's brilliant.